What we're making is this stuff often called oobleck. It is 2 parts cornstarch, 1 part water. It is what is called a non-Newtonian fluid, so the properties don't follow those of water or anything else. When you move through it quickly, it feels like a solid, but when you move through it slowly, it feels like a liquid. I made this with some of my students in the 2nd grade for my internship, since I'm an elementary education major at Towson. Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a teacher. My grandmother got us this little chalkboard that we put on the wall in our basement, and I would stand in front of an imaginary classroom and teach them things. I'd even make handouts and worksheets that I would fill out pretending to be students and grade them. I would even make my sister do one. So yeah, it's just always been what I wanted to do, so it was really easy for me growing up when a lot of people were going off to college, all worried about what they were gonna do with their lives. It was pretty easy for me because I always knew what I wanted to do. When we made this oobleck, the experience that we had with the kids was just so awesome. They were engaged, they were learning, they were making a mess, but that's all part of science. So when we did this in the 2nd grade class, we actually started by reading this story called Oobleck by Dr. Seuss. So it's a really cute book about this town that gets covered in oobleck, this goo. And so basically then we did this little experiment with the kids with 2 parts cornstarch, 1 part water, and it creates this really weird stuff that's kind of like a liquid, kind of like a solid. When you move over it quickly, it's like a solid, but when you take it slow, it just kind of drips. And so we asked them whether they thought it was a solid or a liquid or a gas. Some of them actually said gas because apparently they don't know the different properties. But anyway, after playing with it, most of them said that they thought it was a liquid. And actually it's a non-Newtonian fluid where it doesn't follow the physical properties that Newton kind of discovered. So that was one of the moments when I really knew that I wanted to teach. It just reinforces that aspect of how meaningful it is to the students, and no matter how much work it takes to put into it and how annoying it can be, I just know it's all worthwhile in the end.